Florida Republicans craft restrictive abortion law. Democrats have little power to stop, which is good. That's the article from Politico. Some Tallahassee state lawmakers in Florida are planning to pass legislation this year that would drastically limit how and when people can access abortions, a move sure to inflame growing tensions nationally over conservative efforts to overturn Roe v. Wade, as it should be. Republicans who control the Florida legislature have spent months crafting the proposal after Texas lawmakers in May banned all the abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy and opened up abortion providers to lawsuits from private individuals. Now they settled here in Florida on a less extreme but still restrictive measure that will anger Democrats and abortion rights advocates across the country. A ban on abortion after 15 weeks, except if two doctors agree a fetus is suffering from a fetal abnormality. There are no exceptions for rape or incest. Existing Florida law restricts abortions after 24 weeks. Moving on, Democrats have little power in the Florida legislature. That's right. I believe that's 78 to 42. So hopefully that's not a ratio that will change. Actually, went even more red after this past election. Democrats who have little power in the Florida legislature have been publicly condemning restrictive abortion measures ahead of the session, but with no actual bill to rail against them until now, they have been largely confined to highlighting the impact of Mississippi and Texas laws. This is where it gets funny, because it talks about State Representative Escamani, who's a progressive Democrat from Orlando, who is quite possibly the most annoying person in the Florida legislature, listening to her. She's got like one of those very shrill voices, just like, beats into you, and you're just like, please, woman, stop talking. But no, of course she doesn't. Anyways, she suggested the debate over abortion would become one of the biggest policy fights in Florida this year, potentially shaping midterm elections across the battleground state and driving conversations in Washington. I hope it does, because, we're on the right side of history here, guys. Not killing your babies on the right side of history. She said this. I've talked about abortion quite a bit. You can go back and rewatch some of my old videos. I promise you won't be disappointed, or if you are, that's too bad. She says, I really do stress it to folks to remember, we're talking about people in your districts who find themselves in these delicate situations and deserve and have a constitutional right to options and deciding what to do. Two things about that. One is, actually, I'm going to talk about in just a minute, there's a state senator who speaks on this, actually the state senator who put this bill into the Senate, or the Senate version of this bill. But secondly, where is the right to an abortion in the Constitution? Please, point it out to me. Show me. It's not there. It's not in the Fourth Amendment where they claim it is. Don't believe me? Go back and look at it. It's like, less than 60 words. Go back to episode 12 of the show. We start off with this story, and I read the entire Fourth Amendment there. It is not there. So while Florida lawmakers routinely consider and shoot down strict abortion bans during each legislative session, because Republicans like to be, cowards sometimes, this year seems different. GOP lawmakers appear far more receptive to restricting abortion, even if they do not plan to pursue a Texas-style law that allows private citizens to sue abortion providers. The 6-week ban in the Texas law was part of early talks among Florida Republicans who wrote the new abortion bill, which I was hoping they would, make them even tougher than that. But lawmakers settled on the 15-week ban as the safest route to get around Roe and state privacy clause. The safest route. This is not an issue that we want to be safe on. This is an issue that we want to attack and attack relentlessly, because that's what leftists and abortion providers have been doing for the past 50-something years. I'm trying to do the math in my head. But with 63 million aborted babies so far? 63 million. Yeah, I think they've been pretty aggressive. We need to be as well. Senate version of the bill was filed Tuesday by Senate Appropriations Chair Kelly Stargel. This is, I hope I said that name right. But this is a really powerful story, who has filed several other abortion-related bills during her time in the chamber. This year's proposal is the most restrictive one. Having once been, this is her talking, having once been a scared teenage mother myself, I understand the turmoil of a woman facing an unplanned pregnancy. Stargell, I think it's Stargell, said in a statement, women and children deserve better than abortions. They do. They deserve life. They do. Everyone in the womb deserves life. But of course, the Democrats are saying that this bill should be stopped. And I'm about to shock all of you. I almost agree with them. Now, hear me out. I've not gone woke. I promise. The bill does need to be amended, in my opinion. 15 weeks, that's 4 months. You're going to give someone 4 months to kill their... You say you're pro-life, but you're going to give someone 4 months to kill somebody. 4 months. Let's just... I mean, what if... Would you say that, someone runs into my truck, I have 4 months to hunt them down and kill them? No. And that gives me more cause to go shoot someone than a mother killing her baby. So what sense does 50... There's no moral reason to say, let's give them 4 months. If it's murder, it's murder. Why don't we just take it all the way to its logical conclusion and say, no, we're not letting you kill your child. We're not letting you kill this distinct individual human being. We're going to protect that baby. Or fetus, or whatever you want to call it. Clump of cells that will grow into a human eventually. And no, newsflash, after conception, it is already a human. So if we're going to protect them, let's go all the way. And I get it. The Supreme Court hasn't ruled on Dobbs versus Jackson yet. So there's a chance that it'll get stuck up in court. I get that. I really do. Let's have the courage to go all the way and challenge that. You can always keep this bill waiting in the wings. I get that, I understand the fact that that's, if a representative is sponsoring it, that's one less bill they can sponsor. But if you're going to use one like this is probably the thing you want to do it for. What's stopping you from doing the right thing? Because politically, you have a 78-42 lead in the House. You have a majority in the Senate. You have a governor who's signaled that he will support pro-life legislation. There's no reason not to take this to its logical conclusion and just stop this barbaric practice. I don't know what's really stopping any deep red state. I don't know what stopped Texas from saying, hey, not 6 weeks, 0 after conception. Just, you can't do it. I get that other places the political will might be there, and it's a tough thing here in Florida too. But this is the time that we're finally on the advantage as conservatives. We are on the attack. We have a case again in the Supreme Court. It's looking good for us. There's a 6-3 conservative majority, so to speak. This is not the time for playing it safe. This is the time to attack. And besides, just imagine introducing this bill and just a complete ban. Just imagine Representative Escamotti's face. That's hilarious. The look of shock. I would be in awe. It would be amazing. I would never turn off the Florida channel again. You'd hear it playing over here in the background of these shows until I got copyright struck or something.